I returned the Scouring after about an hour of playing it because I think they're doing early access kind of backwards. Before we talk about how I think they're doing it backwards, let's talk about what the Scouring is. The Scouring is an RTS where, at the time I played it, you play as either the humans or the orcs. The game is a bare bones version of the Warcraft series, or Warcraft and kind of StarCraft a little bit. It plays kind of like Warcraft 3 and, StarCraft 2 a little bit, but not as good. I know, indie title, shouldn't compare it to Blizzard, but that's just how it feels to me. Like, it has the framework of, like, a good Warcraft type RTS, and it goes for the same kind of feel, or same kind of look, kind of, as, like, the classic ones, but it just didn't feel that good to play to me. Like, it was kind of clunky. Not horrible, but not, like, great feeling. Also, I don't think there's much variety in like the terms of the units you have right now. You've got your normal soldiers, archers, artillery, workers, and I think there was cavalry in there, but I'm not sure. Like, the unit pool just feels very small at this point. I know they've just launched, it just feels a little too small at the start. And the best part of the game for me was the hero battle. It's basically a version of like a MOBA, like League of Legends or Dota, where you control your hero, and the AI controls your town, building units, building buildings, collecting resources, all of that. Like, all of the usual management stuff is taken care of by the AI. And you are just there to basically go and fight the other team and destroy their stuff, and like bring your soldiers with you to go and fight them. I thought this part was decently fun, but I don't think it was enough to save the game for me. So I returned it because the game's like $25, and I don't think it is worth that. Because like I said at the beginning, I think they're doing early access backwards. And here's what I mean by that. When a game goes into early access, I think there are at least two goals in mind. One, building a community to receive feedback from and sell the game to. And number two is making money to finish development. To achieve these goals, you need to have a decent amount of pre-made content that can appeal to the type of community that would like your game. In terms of the Scouring, people who played Warcraft and StarCraft might come over to it just to check it out. And if they like what they see, they might jump in and like join the community. And I think during the early access time, you should be developing your game's original content before focusing on anything community-based. Because if you don't have the community to support those community-based things, what's the point of having them? I had initially picked up the Scouring on August 15th, 3 days after their release into early access. I picked up it and Godsworn at the same time, looking to satisfy an RTS itch that I had at the time, which Godsworn might also be a video in a little bit, who knows. But right away, I could tell something was a little bit off with the Scouring. There's no tutorial missions to help you learn the game, just, the pop-ups, because that's what everybody does now is you do something and it just pops up on screen telling you how to do it. Not showing you, just telling you. And there's no single player campaign. Like, I know there are scripted scenarios and stuff, but that's not a campaign or anything like that. That's just stuff on top of the multiplayer content, because all you're doing is multiplayer stuff then also. After seeing all of that, I looked at their updates and saw that they had already released a map editor before they even released the game, and that they weren't releasing any single player content until their 1.0 update, which, who the hell knows when that is? They say 18 months, so that's over a year and a half away. Oh, and they are only releasing a single act of the campaign. Not the full campaign, nope, just the first act of it. This goes back to the idea of having pre-made content at early access launch. Having some kind of single player story would honestly help your launch. Then people could see where you're going with your game. Even if your focus is mainly on PvP, you could showcase what kinds of missions can be created through your editor through the campaign. But then again, I think at this point having a map editor is a horrible idea, because you don't have enough people in your community to make it worth it to have that map editor yet. Looking at SteamDB over the past month, the Scouring is averaging between 100 to 150 concurrent players, and the peak is like 180 for the past month. Their peak since release was 344 players, which was 4 days after release, and then it's just been dropping. and it's now plateauing between that 100 and 150 player count. And looking at the roadmap, I think it's all sorts of fucked up. They're releasing the first campaign act on their full release, like I said before, while adding in a third race at the same time. There's also nothing about adding new pre-made maps other than what's there at the beginning. So they are leaning fully on their very small community to create all of the content for their game. Sure, they released a new biome, the winter biome, which is basically just a reskin of some maps. And they've released a couple of scripted scenarios. But is that really enough to entice people to play your game? I really don't think so. In my opinion, where they need to focus on right now is single player content. They say in their early access questions, we want to give players a complete RTS experience, including a story-rich campaign mode. I think having at least the first few campaign mode missions done and released with the game at early access would be a much better start than just having multiplayer pre-made maps. Like, yes, you do need those pre-made maps to go and, kind of pull people in and understand what your multiplayer is going to be. But putting your energy into the campaign and those pre-made maps would have been a much better idea, I think, than putting your time and energy into creating a map editor, because you don't have the community for that yet. Like, if you put in the time to make a few campaign missions and make those good pre-made maps, then more players that look at this game could see clearly what your vision for the game is, and not just look at what the community is making. It doesn't make sense to me that a game that has no hype, no marketing behind it, is putting all of their effort into community stuff instead of, hey, let's build something out really good and launch it then so that we can show people what's going to happen by the time we hit full release. And that's all just my opinion on the Scouring. Like, it has a framework of a good game, but the state it's in right now, it just wasn't catching me. And the way the developers are handling early access is a really weird direction to me. So that's just my opinion on the game. Leave yours in the comments, and if you like the video, please hit the like button, maybe subscribe. But most importantly, I hope you have a royal day or night, whatever it is for you.